the administrator's gaining new permissions in this update. So that's what I'm going to show. Previously, if you remember, on our settings page here, we used to have under user settings, there used to be down here at the bottom, my interests. And that would say basically the folders that you could turn on or off. That is no longer tied to the user anymore. Those are no longer user settings. Those are controller settings, which are set by the controller administrator. So we're gonna go back here, and I am the administrator of my controller 17825242. So I'm just gonna go ahead and connect to that. And I'm going to show you what I mean by these administrator settings. So once I'm connected, it's going to search for targets. Targets found. Okay, great. Now I'm ready to go look at my administrator settings. So I go to the My Controller page, and you'll see that it's recognizing who the administrator is, software dates, etc. What action would you like to perform? Now at the top, we have these administrator settings. If I was not the administrator, it would deny access for me when I tried to click this. It would say, you're not the administrator, you can't access this, or something along those lines. Now I will click administrator settings, and you'll see this new page. So it says, there's basically two main functions on here. The folders that you're going to see in the pre-designed programming, and then the tabs that are on the Play tab. So the first section says, which folders should this controller have access to? So it's going to show all of our pre-designed programming as we update those base folders. So we have neuro-rehab, and we're in medical mode, by the way. So that's why it's showing all of the medical folders, we're in rehab mode. It's why it's showing all the rehab folders. So we have neuro-rehab, brain health assisted, brain health independent, brain health MMSE, rehab orthopedic, rehab motor control, rehab cognitive neuro, and then we have all of the programs for these same folders. So we can basically turn these folders on and off. So, and then the same thing with the Play tabs. So we have categories, pre-designed activities, trainer activities, client activities, right? All of our tabs that we have on the Play tab. So the whole idea for this administrator settings is so that we can simplify the user interface for whoever's using this particular system. So we do it at the controller level. So this, these aren't user permissions necessarily, where every time we add a new user, we've got to set their set their permissions on what they can see and what they can't see. It's all handled at the controller. So whoever's the admin simply goes into the administrator settings, says turn this on or off, and then anyone who connects to that controller from there on out is going to see these things. So for example, let's look at the first thing, the folders that we have, right? If we go to the Play tab here, you can see we have all of our folders showing, okay? We also have all of our tabs showing across the top. So now let's say we want to turn some of these off, right? So let's go back to the Home tab. I'm going to, maybe I just want to see categories, pre-designed activities, and pre-designed programs. So I'm going to turn off trainer activities, client activities, all the marked stuff, the groups. I'm going to turn everything off except for those. So now all I have enabled are pre-designed programs, pre-designed activities, and categories. Maybe at the top here, let's just say, I don't care about brain health, MMSE. I want to turn that off. And maybe I don't want to see independent. I only want to see assisted. So I'll turn off independent and MMSE. Okay, now I just click done and saving it. And now when I go back to the Play tab, all I'm going to see is categories, pre-designed activities, and pre-designed programs at the top. That's it. So now when I go to pre-designed activities, you can see independent and MMSE are now missing. So those have been turned off as well. If I want to turn them back on, all I do is I go back to the administrator settings and turn them back on. So, I'll showcase now here. Let's go ahead and disconnect from the controller, and then we can see what happens there. Okay, so I disconnect from the controller, and now we're back. We have everything back here on the plate tab because we're no longer connected to that controller. So you can see that these tab settings, the folder settings, see now we have MMSE and independent back again. It is only active when we're connected to that specific controller. So that is the big thing that we've really updated in this, is tying these folders and tabs to the controller. So even if I were to now sign in as another user, so I will go ahead and sign in from, let's just sign in from TJ's account. Okay, so I'm now signed in as TJ. And I go to the play tab and everything is still here, right? Now I will connect to the controller. Okay, it's gonna scan for targets. And then once it's loaded in, it's basically said, okay, this is the controller. It's downloading, it downloads the settings as it's downloading all the administrator information. So right after it scans for targets, it says, okay, I know exactly what's going on here. So you'll see that here. And okay, so I'm gonna tap administrator settings now. Okay, there you go. And so now you see access denied. Only the administrator can change the administrator settings. But if I go to the play tab, you'll see that I'm only seeing what Fred Ranieri had set for the controller. So, and that's pre-designed activities. We turned off MMSE and brain health independent. So that's the big UI update that you'll see in this most recent update that we did here.